Hello everyone, Clint here with Lily, and Lily's my little Brit that always comes with me on my adventures, or at least non-bow hunting adventures. But anyways, what we're going to talk about today is systems and why it's important to have a system for bow hunting, and some points I think that are essential to have and how you create your system. So let's go over that now. So what is a bow hunting system? For me, a system is that plan that you have in place when stuff doesn't work out. And, when I was younger, I got into the point at times, just like I see younger folks or people just getting into bow hunting, what do I do next? I saw a buck, come up a particular fence line, and I was 200 yards over. What do I do next? I have a buck coming into a trail camera hour after dark. Where should I hunt next? That's all part of the learning experience. I understand that. But at the same time, if you have a system in place, you already know what to do next. And not only that, failure doesn't bother you. Because if you have a system, when something fails, you then go to the next part of your system. And you keep going from A to B to C to D. And you keep going through it. And actually, you expect failure. And that's why you have a system built in. So I think... when people go onto the hunting woods, I think a lot of times they just think of, okay, I'm going to sit in a particular tree, I see some sign, and so be it. But if you have a particular system in place, you know when you should be there, the exact tree location. You should almost have it down, not always, but you should have a pretty good idea of where that buck is going to walk through when it's time to hunt. And if you have that system in place, there's no guessing. There's no second guessing. You know what to do and when to do it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But more often than not, if you get that system in place, it's going to work. And then that system, once again, takes precedent when it doesn't work. Then you just go to the next step. All right. So right now, I'm going to share these tips with you in regards to my system, how I built my system over the years in regards to bow hunting. And while I feel my system works for me, it doesn't work for everybody. You have to build your own system. We all don't hunt the same woods or same topography, the same deer, the same human pressure. All of those things play a component into building your system. All right. So let's go over these tips right now. The first tip I want to share with you is to go out. If you're new to hunting, let's say you've only had a few years, and it really doesn't matter. I even have people that I still follow to this day and get tips from them, but is to get a mentor. Okay, find a mentor. And this mentor, you should pick this particular mentor not based on the products they use. Or let's say maybe they got a cool outfit line that you like, okay? Or maybe they shoot a particular bow that you shoot. And that's fine if you want to go that route, okay? But it's going to be much more effective if you find a mentor that hunts the same type of woods, human pressure, state even, that you do. So if you're hunting, let's say, managed properties, okay, and you're on 200 acres and you put in food plots, all right, maybe a mentor or mentors like Lee and Tiffany Lakoski is a particular way to go. Maybe you hunt public land, all right, a lot of public land. Maybe the hunting public, maybe a Dan Infalt, all right, John Eberhart. Those might be your mentors. Maybe you're an out west hunter, okay? And there's some hunters out there that you might want to follow, like Cameron Haynes, all right? So those are the types of mentors that you should look for from a celebrity standpoint, okay? So tip number 2 is experimentation. And, I see a lot of guys say, well, does no scent work? Does scents work? Does rattling work? Does scent elimination products work? All of these different things that you see on the bow hunting market. And you know what? The best way to find out is for yourself. You go out, purchase those products. It's not going to break the bank. Okay, some of these products, for deer scent, it's $10-12 maybe for some of these deer scents. I know some are more, some are less. But, that's what I did a few years ago. I wanted to see if Nose Jammer worked. I wanted to see if the scent elimination products work and different ones too, not just one particular product, and see for myself. And then I make my own determination if that was a product that I was going to utilize for my bow hunting system, okay? So, I guess what I'm trying to say is go out and try it. Don't be the person that says this doesn't work or that doesn't work. Go out and try it for you, okay? Just to see if it works for you. And I'm gonna be straight out. Most of the products that I've tried do not work for me, okay? They do not work in my system. For where I hunt, how I hunt, pressured small woodlots, or the public land that I hunt, a lot of that stuff doesn't work. But there are a few products out there that does work for me, and it's those particular products that I do put a little bit more faith in, but it really comes down to your hunting skills, okay? But if you're going to be going into that realm of products and even in techniques, whether it be rattling or calling, experiment, okay? And just make sure that when you do some of these experimentations, you're not doing it on a prime time buck. You always want to do it, let's say, after you've maybe got your buck and you're out there trying to get a doe, fill that doe tag. Go out there and try a little bit of those experimentations with those scents, with the calling techniques, so on and so forth. Your buck tags are already filled. What does it hurt to go out there and try those things to put into your bow hunting system? So next up I want to talk about is personality and how your personality fits in with your bow hunting system. I have an individual that I know of, and when it comes to their personality, they can't sit through a movie, a half hour in and they're up and about. But they've learned to take their personality, they know their personality, and they've applied it into their bow hunting system. And in this guy's particular case, he rocks with a ghillie suit and he's moving constantly. Sets up, might do a little bit of calling, waits for about 20 minutes to a half hour, and he's on to the next spot. And he's been very successful with that system for him, okay? For me, I have a little bit of a passive-aggressive personality, okay? I'm a nice guy almost 100% of the time. But every now and then, somebody can turn me into a grizzly bear, and then I got to knock a few trees down. And, that's my personality. And I'm not always going to try to change that to who I am. But I've taken that personality, knowing who I am, and I've applied it to my bow hunting system, and it's worked out quite well. And how I have done that is I get all my intel first. My trail cameras, my shining at night, maybe from observation sits from afar, from what the neighbors are telling me, what other bow hunters maybe in the area are talking about, and I keep my mouth shut. I don't ever get any of that information out. But when the time comes and I've done my research on a particular buck and I'm ready to go, I go all in. And when I go in that night or that morning, I am in there to put him in the back of my truck. That is how I hunt. That is part of what makes up my particular system, and that's because of my personality, all right? So take a look at your personality, see who you are as a bow hunter, and see how you can fit that into your bow hunting system, all right? And you know what? Maybe you're that guy that just likes to be out in the woods and enjoy the woods and wait for them to come to you. You're probably the perfect guy to sit all day, or gal to sit all day. But look at your personality, look who you are as a person, and adapt that, or have that adapt to your bow hunting system. The next tip in regards to your bow hunting system is laying out your plan, okay? And the plan should be a well laid out plan. I like to lay mine out at a macro level, but then have the ability to change that plan depending upon things that might come up. And that's just part of having a good system in place, is that ability to change. And for me, when I'm scouting in March and February, by the time I get done scouting, I already have an idea of where I'm going to hunt and when I'm going to hunt, depending upon some other factors. But I have it usually laid out totally by July. And I know each weekend where I'm going to be, whether I'm going to be on one side of the state of Wisconsin, the other side of the state of Wisconsin, or somewhere maybe even in the middle. Another example of having your plan laid out, and this has always worked fairly well for me, here's a short example. Like when I am early season, okay, when the bugs are bad, when they're especially bad, that's when I like to go hit up public land that is close to home. But I know a lot of guys don't like to go into these thick swamps when it's 80 degrees out, and have mosquitoes carry them away, all right? But that gives me an advantage. Usually I'm the only guy that's going to be in a particular area, especially if I go in a little bit deeper into the public land, woods that's around home, which ain't the real big, vast areas of northern Wisconsin. They're more of the marshes and swamps. And then as the season progresses, more guys will start to move in, and I've already hunted those particular spots. And then I will hit my egg woodlots that I have during the mid part of the season, right up until about the rut, end of the pre-rut. And then after that, if I don't have my tag filled at that time, then I head into the public big woods of Wisconsin. I know each area, how I want to set up. I have the stand locations picked for every particular wind. I am ready for any wind. I am actually ready for any hunter. So I even have a second stand, especially in my public land areas of the Northwoods. You know, if somebody's going to be in a particular spot, I know right then I can go to spot B. I'm not sitting there scratching my head, all right? So it's always good. I should say it's always good. It's great to have your plan laid out on a macro level, and then to be able to turn those little dials and make those small changes. And that's part of your system, okay? To build those little pieces of change, or those gears of change, into your bow hunting system. That way you're never left scratching your head or cussing at the guy, you know, that's sitting in your stand on public land, because you know what to do next. All right. So the next tip is record the process, okay? I think a lot of people might be afraid to do this because you're admitting failure. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there who got a lot of pride and ego, and they don't like to admit failure. And in reality, you know, if you bow hunt long enough, you're going to fail. You're going to someday, you know, wound a deer that you're never going to get and didn't make the right shot on it. You're going to sit in the wrong stand. You're going to go at the wrong time. When looking back at it, you maybe should have sat here, and that just takes experience and getting your bow hunting system put together. So record the process, record everything, okay? And then make your changes the following year. So don't just record stuff. It has to be for a reason, to make a particular change to make you a better bow hunter. You know, for me, sometimes I'm just recording that I need to take a particular stand and I need to move it 15 degrees to the right or to the left. Simple little things like that. It might be just simply that I'm going to write off a particular spot. Maybe it was a spot that I thought was going to be really, really good. Come to find out that the neighbors next door are riding four-wheelers a lot, or they're just screwing around and making it a bad spot to hunt. And I write all this stuff down. It seems minute, but you'd be surprised on what you forget throughout the season, especially when you get into the heat of the moment, seeing all these big bucks, maybe coming through your area where you hunt. Write it down. It really makes a big difference. And then at the end of the season, reevaluate. Look at everything that you wrote down and those changes that you need to make based on those failures that happened to you in this particular year. And then always keep that recorded somewhere, because something maybe happened 5 years ago might be pertinent to you today. So record everything that happens to you, reevaluate, and make those changes. And that's, once again, part of creating your own bow hunting system. So the last piece I want to leave with you folks is to buck the system. And what I mean by bucking the system is literally don't fall into the trap, okay, of hunting one particular way, all right, or one particular system. Create your own system. It should come from different parts, pieces. It should come from your experiences, from your mentors, from your failures, from your successes, from things you've read, from things you've learned, and put it together and make it your own. That is how you're going to become a better bow hunter faster. All right, folks? You know, and no matter how old you are, don't stop learning. You know, I started bow hunting in 1987. I'm in my late 40s right now, and I love learning about whitetails in the whitetail woods. And the thing I'm learning now is how to hunt urban bucks. Matter of fact, I have a couple pieces actually that are only 2 to 3 acres in size, and homes all around, in how to hunt these urban whitetails. So that's going to be my new learning thing for the next how many years, all right? As well as Big Woods Public and continue with my egg spots. All right, so folks, I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit that subscribe button. That will help me out tremendously. And also hit that like button. That just gets this video out to a few more of the folks out there that want to learn about whitetails. So, all right, folks, until next time, Clint from Oak and Iron Outdoors.